It's about find someone, convince him to teach you how to improve your skills, and then maybe if you are good enough, he will teach you something. No? These human relations.
Our aim was also to create this remake in a mindful way and with respecting greatly the original, but we also wanted to set up, like with the graphics, to be like a modern game with a realistic look, right? And that kind of fights with the original.
In the end, we're fighting to recreate the love memories, and in Spanish we say, there's a say that says, cualquier tiempo pasado fue mejor. It seems any past time was way better. So in the end, we're trying to challenge with this, but it's a nice challenge. So when I read some fans' comments about, and they say, for example, a new cam image, we released not much time ago, and they say, wow, this is exactly how the new cam was in my imagine when I was playing. And then some other fans show him the real image of the new cam of the original game, and they say, what the hell? What the fuck? What's this? In my head, it was like the remake one.
So first of all, I think that the fan base of the original is a multi-layered demographic and structure. I think there's not one voice that you can listen to and say, like, if you do it like that, everybody will like it. And that's the core problem. There's so many different opinions. There's even like, when we did the Gothic playable teasers, there were even like old fans who were like, great, finally doing something different with it. I disagree with this. I feel like with the playable teaser, the aim was to really push the boundaries and go over it to get strong reactions, and we got that, so that worked out.
So back in the day, we were asking, okay, what fans want? What do they want? They want the same story with new graphics, or maybe a retold. Maybe they want a new story within the world, or maybe they want something in the line of new modern games where the character is always talking and doing jokes to the player. I don't know, so we thought, okay, let's go extreme, let's force a very strong reaction, and with that, we can understand what they really want. And in the end, we got the reaction, we got a lot of ideas from the fans showed us the way, and they helped us to create the pillars of the Gothic remake. I remember 4 years ago creating a document with the pillars of the game view, and saying, okay, we cannot move. Those are the pillars of everything what we are reconstructing the next years. Those are the founding pillars, and it should be that. So for me, the PT was good because it helped us to define those basic pillars, and we are here today.
So that constant, striving and drive to make everything better, now I get a second chance. So I can return to my music that I wrote back then and create new versions, create fresh versions that kind of stand the test of time.
It's been more than 20 years since the first Gothic came out, and it's difficult to think about how you bring something that has such a history into modern times with the quality of life we have now, and how you stay truthful to the original experience of playing such a game, which was quite innovative, quite new to the whole market and what it brought to RPGs.
I got immersed into the world of Gothic thanks to Kai Rosenfranz and his creations. And I want to say a big thank you to Snowball localization team, because they made a huge job. The voices and localization, it helped me a lot to go deeper in this world.
I think that Gothic 1 was a game that allows the player to go everywhere, anywhere, and anytime. So that feeling that the player has in order to make his own choices.
There was, 15 years, over 10 years, there was nothing happening with it, which is sad, because it's like, it's a franchise and a game that people deeply care about and are very emotional towards too. And I'm myself sad, actually, that I never got to play another Gothic game in these times.
We are fighting with memories. We're just trying to embrace the original vision of the authors.
When I was young, I played the games in German. It was one of the only games which had a real character and authenticity to German culture. The dialogues were written in a way how you and me would speak if we would be, friendly, drinking a beer and talking about stuff, right? And that is something that was never done by a game. It was so natural and so close to reality in a way, like without being a simulation or whatever. It kind of like fascinated me always, right? Because it also like they were cursing each other in the game and like reacting to each other in a very rude way sometimes, and that was kind of like an attractor for me.
Creo que tiene algo especial. Este juego desde el principio, desde que empiezas a jugarlo, te engancha, te envuelve como en ese aura oscuro y como duro, ¿no? Que se consigue muy rápido, ¿no? Esa sensación de sentirte parte, ¿no? de ese mundo ya. La música, los environments.
Así que Gothic me gustó mucho por el setting y por el mundo. Y me llamó mucho la atención pues que era un juego que yo no estaba acostumbrado a jugar en ese momento. Un juego que no te guía, no te indica dónde tienes que ir ni lo que tienes que hacer. Tienes que prestar atención a lo que te dicen los personajes, tienes que comprarte el mapa, tienes que estar muy atento, y eso realmente es una experiencia muy inmersiva, y yo creo que eso es lo que más me gustó del juego.
Gothic is a very grounded game that you feel like is tough, is hard, but also is very realistic.
What this was amazing to me the first time that I played Gothic was how you could solve a lot of situations taking advantage of everyone. Everyone would take advantage of you, of course, but then you have these chances where you can take advantage of a character killing a scavenger for you, so you can go around something.
Creo que lo que más me gusta del Gothic, que combina la magia y todo, es que, aunque es un juego de fantasía, es muy verosímil. No es 100% realista, pero sí que intentamos que parezca realista. Entonces es como que combina esos dos mundos y no te da la sensación que estás como en un juego que no pudiera existir en la vida real, sino que es algo que te hace como meterte dentro del personaje y sentir que tú puedes estar viviendo eso.
The living world, like the simulation, that like everything is kind of like, everything has a daily routine, you can affect it, you can get to discover, kind of like be part of the life. It was the first simulation that I feel like was not centered around the player. It was actually going on while you were not the center of attention for everything. You were just a nobody. I really liked the progression system and how you learn abilities, and what also the progression had an impact on your fighting styles, like that the main character had.
Really, I think everybody struggled fighting against the first scavenger or run away from the diggers. And for me, this point from then learning that all the decisions make sense and all affect, and in the end of the game you are stronger and you get a name in the colony, for me that's the most memorable thing of the game.
Welcome to the Valley of Mines, an immense penal colony. For the war against the orcs, the only undefeated enemies of the Kingdom of Myrtana, the king needed ore to supply his armies. So every man guilty of a crime, no matter how insignificant, was forced to work in the ore mines of Khorinis. To make it impossible for them to escape, the king sent out his best magicians to create a magical barrier around the entire valley. But something disturbed the creation of the barrier, trapping everyone inside. The convicts revolted and took control of the colony. They divided into 3 camps. The old camp is satisfied with the current situation. As long as they deliver the ore, the king supplies them with everything they need. The new camp, however, thinks they can use the ore to blow up the barrier. And then there is the sect from the swamp. They believe that a mysterious new deity will free them from their prison. Thus begins your journey in the open world of the Valley of Mines. Creating Gothic Remake, we focus on the 4 pillars that we consider the core of the series: simulation of a living world, exploration, story, and combat. Like the original 2001 title, Gothic Remake is set on creating an immersive and realistic world. Enjoy a complex life simulation on a scale hardly ever seen before in a video game. During the day, the inhabitants of the colony carry out a variety of activities, while nature, rich in all its diversity, lives out its own rhythm. All this gives the impression that this world can exist without the player. Explore the colony on your own and enjoy the unprecedented freedom this open world offers. In true RPG fashion, you decide when and where you go next. Meet numerous interesting characters, understand their inner motivations, and earn their respect by completing a series of elaborate quests. How you solve or handle their problems depends entirely on your choices. No matter when, in what order, or if you do anything at all, the game will always respond appropriately to your decisions. Experience a complex and demanding combat system with satisfying character progression. Overcome your opponents using a variety of melee weapons, eliminate them from a distance, or learn the arcana of magic. Remember that each type of weapon behaves differently, and its effectiveness depends on training. We're aware that when creating a remake of a beloved title, it is hard to live up to the expectations of its long-term fans. However, we feel there is room to develop the experience further by telling new stories from the colony and expanding on those that die-hard fans have known for more than 2 decades. We are also focusing our attention on enhancing many aspects of gameplay, such as diverse NPC routines and reactions, more complex crafting, and more rewarding character progression. Despite the passage of time, Gothic remains in the hearts and minds of many players. With the possibilities of Unreal Engine 5 and a variety of modern features, Gothic Remake will soon rekindle that love. Whether you've been a loyal fan for years or are just looking for a true RPG experience, welcome back to the